10. Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing. Securing the 10th position is a vehicle that completely rejects the electrification trend to serve as the ultimate analog track weapon. The Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing demands a highly competitive entry-level price of exactly $62,895. Under the lightweight, aluminum hood sits a masterclass in American forced induction, the LF4 3.6-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine. By utilizing titanium connecting rods and revised crankshaft counterweights, this power plant generates a verified 472 horsepower and 445 pound-feet of torque. However, the true mechanical supremacy of this chassis is the transmission availability. Cadillac mathematically defies the industry standard by offering a standard Tremec TR31606 6-speed manual gearbox equipped with active rev matching and no-lift shift capabilities, allowing the driver to keep the throttle completely pinned during upshifts. When equipped with the optional 10-speed automatic, the 3,860-pound sedan violently executes the 0-60 sprint in a verified 3.9 seconds, eventually hitting a top track speed of 189 miles per hour. To ensure maximum lateral grip, the Blackwing utilizes Magnetic Ride Control 4.0, a highly advanced suspension system that magnetically alters the viscosity of the damping fluid up to 1,000 times per second. An electronically controlled limited slip rear differential independently calculates and distributes optimal torque to the rear wheels, making the CT4-V Blackwing a mathematical surgical instrument on a closed circuit. 9. Audi RS3 Sedan. Taking the 9th position is a highly specialized piece of German artillery. The Audi RS3 Sedan requires a base MSRP of $63,395 and relies on an engine configuration that borders on mechanical heresy. Audi engineers retained the legendary EA855 2.5-liter TFSI turbocharged 5-cylinder engine, utilizing a highly unique 1-2-4-5-3 firing order. The odd cylinder count generates an unmistakable guttural exhaust frequency while producing a devastating 401 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. This rotational force is managed by a lightning-fast 7-speed S-tronic dual-clutch transmission. Yet, the critical engineering breakthrough is located at the rear axle. Audi entirely eliminated the traditional multiplate clutch differential, replacing it with the RS torque splitter. This highly complex piece of hardware features an electronically controlled multiple-disc clutch on each individual rear drive shaft. During aggressive cornering, the system autonomously forces torque to the outer rear wheel to entirely eliminate understeer, even featuring a dedicated RS torque rear mode that enables controlled, closed-course drifting. Tipping the scales at a relatively light 3,649 pounds, the RS3 violently hooks up its standard Pirelli P0 tires to obliterate the 0-60 metric in just 3.6 seconds. Inside, the 12.3-inch Audi Virtual Cockpit Plus displays specialized RS runway telemetry, solidifying its status as a heavily digitized pocket rocket. 8. BMW M2 G87. Occupying the 8th spot is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the compact coupe segment. The G87 generation BMW M2 enters the market with a starting price of $66,075 for the updated model year. Bavarian engineers made the financially aggressive decision to utilize a shortened variant of the Claire architecture found in the larger M4, resulting in a chassis with immense torsional rigidity. Nestled tightly between the front strut towers is the legendary S58 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged inline-6 engine. For the most recent production cycle, BMW mathematically unlocked an additional 20 horsepower, bringing the verified output to a massive 473 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. Unlike its heavier all-wheel drive siblings, the M2 rigidly maintains a purist, rear-wheel drive-only configuration. Buyers can select either a highly refined 8-speed M-Steptronic automatic transmission or a traditional 6-speed manual gearbox. When the automatic transmission drops the clutch, the 3,814-pound coupe crushes the 0-60 benchmark in a highly consistent 3.9 seconds. To control this brutal power delivery, the vehicle features an active M differential and standard M traction control, which allows the driver to select 10 distinct stages of wheel slip intervention. It is a highly analytical, over-engineered approach to analog driving thrills. 7. Mercedes-Benz S580 4MATIC. Securing the 7th position requires completely shifting focus from closed-course lap times to uncompromising executive isolation. The Mercedes-Benz S580 4MATIC demands a baseline invoice of $128,150 and serves as the historical benchmark against which all luxury vehicles are measured. Under the hood resides a highly refined 4.0-liter biturbo V8 engine, producing a verified 496 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. However, the powertrain is seamlessly integrated with a 48-volt EQ Boost mild hybrid system, This electric architecture utilizes an integrated starter generator to autonomously provide an additional 21 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque at low RPMs, ensuring mathematically perfect, imperceptible engine start-stop functionality. The true technological supremacy of the S-Class is its chassis dynamics. The standard airmatic air suspension continuously reads the road surface and adjusts pneumatic damping at each individual wheel to entirely eradicate cabin vibrations. Furthermore, the optional rear axle steering system violently alters the vehicle's geometry, turning the rear wheels up to 10 degrees in the opposite direction of the front wheels during low-speed maneuvers, effectively reducing the turning radius of this massive 208-inch sedan to that of a compact hatchback. Featuring an available 30-speaker, 1,750-watt Burmeister high-end 4D surround sound system with seat-integrated exciters, the S580 mathematically isolates its occupants from the brutal realities of the outside world. 6. Audi RS3 Avant Performance. The sixth position belongs to a vehicle that functionally operates as a low-flying ballistic missile, disguised as family transport. The Audi RS3 Avant Performance requires a massive $127,895 financial commitment to secure ownership. By entirely rejecting the aerodynamically inefficient crossover format, Audi created the ultimate long-roof super. Engineers heavily revised the 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine, physically increasing the size of the turbochargers and bumping the boost pressure up by 0.2 bars. The resulting mechanical violence yields a catastrophic 621 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. This immense rotational force is routed through a heavily reinforced 8-speed Tiptronic transmission to a highly specialized Quattro all-wheel drive system featuring a self-locking mechanical center differential. By default, power is split at a 40-to-60 ratio favoring the rear, but the system can instantly divert up to 85% of the torque exclusively to the rear axle. Despite dragging 4,960 pounds of mass, the RS3 Avant Performance violently launches from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a verified 3.3 seconds. To prevent catastrophic body roll, the chassis relies on dynamic ride control, which utilizes steel springs paired with 3-stage adjustable dampers diagonally linked via pressurized hydraulic lines to mechanically force the heavy body to remain perfectly flat during high-G lateral cornering. 5. Cadillac Celestiq. Entering the top 5 is the ultimate, unapologetic expression of American internal combustion excess. The Cadillac Celestiq commands a staggering baseline price of $154,295. General Motors completely rejected electric hybridization for this specific project, opting instead for absolute mechanical brute force. Under the massive hood sits a hand-built 6.2-liter V8 engine derived directly from the Corvette lineage. To overcome the vehicle's catastrophic 6,217-pound curb weight, engineers bolted a massive 2.65-liter TVS supercharger to the intake manifold, spinning at an astonishing 13,500 RPM and generating 10 pounds of boost pressure. This forced induction Leviathan unleashes a terrifying 682 horsepower and 653 pound-feet of torque. A specially calibrated 10-speed automatic transmission routes this power to an active full-time all-wheel drive system. When launch control is engaged, the physical laws of inertia are temporarily suspended, rocketing the 3-ton Fortress to 60 miles per hour in just 4.4 seconds, accompanied by a visceral baritone exhaust note that electric competitors mathematically cannot replicate. To manage this speed safely, Cadillac relies on massive 6-piston Brembo front brakes and a suspension network combining magnetic ride control 4.0 with air ride adaptive hardware. Inside, occupants are surrounded by a sweeping 38-inch curved OLED digital display and a 36-speaker AKG Studio reference audio system. 4. BMW M5 G90. Occupying the fourth position is a vehicle that forces the very laws of physics to submit through sheer technological processing power. The G90 generation BMW M5 commands a $120,675 base price and represents the most radical and heavily criticized mechanical evolution in the history of the legendary M division. To satisfy draconian global emissions regulations while simultaneously increasing overall output, engineers equipped the new M5 with a highly advanced plug-in hybrid electric vehicle architecture. A heavily revised S6 4.4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine works in absolute synchronization with a 14.8 kWh high-voltage lithium-ion battery pack and a high-performance electric motor mounted directly inside the 8-speed M-Steptronic transmission housing. This highly complex pre-gearing stage increases the effective torque of the electric motor at the transmission input to 332 pound-feet. The combined total system output is a devastating 717 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. When deploying the MX Drive all-wheel drive system, the massive super sedan violently accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a verified 3.1 seconds. To mask its highly controversial 5,390-pound curb weight, the chassis is heavily fortified with integral active steering and adaptive M suspension, utilizing highly advanced algorithms to calculate the exact damping force required to force the heavy sedan through tight apexes with terrifying lateral grip. 3. Mercedes-AMG S63 Performance. Taking the bronze medal is an uncompromising high-voltage executive dreadnought. The Mercedes-AMG S63 Performance requires an astronomical $182,250 baseline invoice. Affalterbach engineers transformed the Tranquil S-Class chassis into a 5,720-pound guided missile. The primary propulsion unit is the legendary M177 4.0-liter biturbo V8 engine. However, the true terror of this machine resides entirely at the rear axle. Mercedes integrated a permanently excited synchronous electric motor, a 2-speed electrically shifted transmission, and a highly advanced 13.1 kilowatt AMG high-performance battery pack. This specific battery utilizes direct liquid cooling for all 1,200 individual cells, heavily prioritizing rapid energy deployment and regeneration over pure electric range. The synchronized powertrain delivers a catastrophic total system output of 791 horsepower and a mind-bending 1,055 pound-feet of torque. The AMG Performance 4MATIC fully variable all-wheel drive system violently forces this rotational torque into the tarmac, executing a 0-60 launch in a blistering verified 3.2 seconds. To ensure the vehicle does not tear itself apart under cornering loads, it utilizes standard AMG ride control air suspension with 48-volt electromechanical anti-roll bars, actively twisting against the chassis to completely eliminate body lean during aggressive maneuvers. 2. Cadillac Celestiq. The runner-up position is a vehicle that completely redefines American automotive supremacy, functioning less like a mass-produced passenger vehicle and entirely like a commissioned piece of rolling artwork. The Cadillac Celestiq requires an astonishing $340,000 baseline price before a single bespoke customization is even negotiated. General Motors completely abandoned automated mass production for this flagship, individually hand-building each exclusive unit at the Global Technical Center in Warren, Michigan. The underlying chassis entirely rejects traditional stamped steel manufacturing, utilizing over 115 heavily 3D-printed titanium and aluminum components alongside 6 massive megacast underbody elements to ensure mathematically perfect structural rigidity, propelled by a massive 111 kilowatt Ultium battery pack and dual electric motors. The all-wheel drive Celestiq generates a highly refined 600 horsepower and 640 pound-feet of torque. This propels the elongated fastback to 60 miles per hour in precisely 3.8 seconds while maintaining an EPA estimated range of 300 miles. However, the Celestiq claims the number 2 rank strictly due to its unprecedented Rolls-Royce-level interior execution. The cabin is completely dominated by a staggering 55-inch high-definition digital dashboard spanning entirely from pillar to pillar. Furthermore, the vehicle entirely eliminates traditional mechanical sunshades, utilizing a massive fixed smart glass roof featuring suspended particle device technology. This highly advanced glass allows each individual passenger to independently adjust the opacity of the panel directly above their head from completely transparent to less than 1% translucent. Equipped with a 38-speaker AKG system featuring 3D spatial rendering and active noise cancellation, the Celestiq stands as the absolute pinnacle of electric ultra-luxury. 1. Mercedes-AMG GT 63 SE Performance Coupe. Securing the absolute number 1 position is the undisputed, highly violent king of internal combustion hybridization. The Mercedes-AMG GT 63 SE Performance Coupe commands an estimated baseline price exceeding $200,000. Serving as the flagship grand tourer for the entire Mercedes-Benz portfolio, under its immensely long, aggressively sculpted hood, sits a hand-built 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine. Mirroring the architecture of the S63, engineers placed a highly advanced electric drive unit at the rear axle. This includes a 6.1 kilowatt-hour ultra-lightweight battery pack, weighing a mere 196 pounds, derived directly from the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team. This incredibly complex mechanical layout optimizes front-to-rear weight distribution while delivering a catastrophic total system output of 805 horsepower and a staggering 1,047 pound-feet of torque. The fully variable AMG Performance 4MATIC all-wheel drive system forces this immense rotational force to the ground, allowing the coupe to execute a 0-60 launch in a highly terrifying, verified 2.7 seconds, eventually pushing to a top speed of 199 miles per hour. To manage this physical violence, the chassis utilizes AMG Active Ride Control with semi-active hydraulic roll stabilization. This system entirely eliminates traditional mechanical anti-roll bars, instead using highly pressurized hydraulic chambers within the dampers to instantly stiffen the outer wheels during cornering. Furthermore, active underbody aerodynamics deploy at speed. A hidden carbon element automatically lowers by 1.6 inches at 50 miles per hour to create a massive Venturi effect, mathematically sucking the car to the tarmac. Armed with standard 16.5-inch carbon ceramic brake rotors and aggressive rear axle steering, the AMG GT 63 SE Performance mathematically decimates highly dedicated track cars without sacrificing an ounce of executive comfort, securing its position as the ultimate automotive achievement.